What's going on, everybody? It is TripleCrown24 back today. It is card show recap time. Back to Xenia, Ohio once again for the July 2023 rendition of the show. I was set up once again. I can't remember the last time I missed a setup, and that's because things have been pretty good. I don't think I've ever had a bad show per se at Xenia, and that continued this past weekend. With some buying, some selling, and trading, it seemed like things were firing on all cylinders pretty much throughout the show, a very steady stream of traffic. Why don't we go ahead and get into it? I'm going to show you what I picked up. I'm going to talk about a little bit of what I sold as well. I'm doing this in like a slideshow presentation format as well, and you're going to see why that was the case, because there was a lot of moving parts, to say the least, this weekend. But the first deal you're going to see here is this Joe Burrow base mosaic rookie card, SGC 10. So not the flashiest card to start off the day. This is pretty much a meat and potatoes deal, and I ended up trading away one of my contenders autographs I had. I had a few on hand, and this was a Patrick Jones II, defensive player for the Vikings from 2021. He was the blue, or I guess cyan printing plate, 1/1 rookie ticket auto. I love 1/1s, if they're plates, if they're superfractors, whatever the case may be. I'm a big fan of 1/1s. That's why I usually, if I see one for cheap enough, I'll pick it up. I wasn't into that card for too much, but what I decided to do was add $10 to that card and turn it into a Joe Burrow. And the reason I did that is just because Joe Burrow around here he's king. I'm in the Cincinnati area. Anytime I can take something, even if I need to put a little bit more cash into it to get a Burrow that I'm pretty confident in what I can get for it, I'll go ahead and do it, just because Joe Burrows don't sit around for too long at most of the shows that I go to. He is, without a doubt, the most in-demand player at these shows and has been for quite some time. So that one, pretty straightforward deal. I was able to get some Burrow into my case, and it won't be the last appearance of him. We move on to another deal. This one was one that was kind of pre-arranged. In fact, when I release this video, I'll probably actually be going to fulfill my end of the deal here. I have a friend who is a big Patrick Mahomes fan and Patrick Mahomes collector. We've done a few deals in the past before, and whenever I see a Mahomes and all of the different avenues where I go to buy, I take a flyer on it, and I at least try to see if I can get it for a price where I can give him a decent deal as well. He had some stuff he wanted to trade me. You'll see quite a few Lamar Jacksons in here. You'll see some Sky Moores. Probably the most eye-catching card among the group, even though there's some tremendous shine among the others, is that Kirk Cousins Justin Jefferson dual auto 2021 NT, serial numbered 1/49, a bookend as the kids would say. And that was the one that really jumped out to me as well. It is by far, in a way, the most valuable card in the deal. So we were able to work out a swap. I have a Mahomes that should be waiting for me to go pick it up once I finish recording today's video, and then I'll have to go take that over to him in a trade. So I was able to kind of give him a quote of what I would pay for this entire lot, and then he said, if you have any Mahomes cards, maybe we could do a swap. So I went out, did some shopping, found a couple, and this was the one that he settled on, was a 2022 Zenith card. I'll pop it up on screen here really quickly if you care to see it. Beautiful card, and it's a gold numbered 10, and I got it for a pretty good deal. I was able to pass it along to him for what I think is a pretty solid price as well. So win-win scenario for both sides. Always great when that happens, and that's always the goal too with making these deals. I don't want anyone to feel like they got screwed, or that they don't want to do business with me because they think I know something that they don't, or I'm trying to hustle them or whatever. That's not the case. I want it to work out for both sides and make everybody happy. Doesn't always work out that way, but ideally when it can, that's the best case scenario. I would be remiss if I did not bring this one up. This is from our good friend Mike over at Cards Across America. Go check him out. I'll leave a link to his socials down below. Guy who has become a very great friend of mine, and he decided to gift me this awesome Barry Sanders from Elements. It is the gold parallel, but a sweet card, one that I will have to put up on display with some of the other Lions. Again, more meat and potatoes here. There's not a whole lot of flash here in the early goings in terms of my pickups, I would say. But this is the stuff that I move pretty well. This is a lot of 9 Joe Burrow rookies, and there's nothing here that is extremely rare or anything. They're just base Joe Burrow rookies. What did I give up to get these? Well, I was able to get $20 cash with these, and then I gave up my Trey Lance light blue prism rookie. Joe Burrow rookies, I could put these out for $5 a piece. Very happy to have those. And it will give me some Burrows in the showcase. Sometimes it is just nice to have certain cards in the showcase. I'm very happy with that trade. I appreciate the gentleman who made that deal with me. Here's one from my buddy Logan over at Great Sports Cards. Again, another fantastic YouTuber. Go check him out. And his quality of videos is far superior to mine. He puts a lot of effort into his card shows, recaps. I need to start doing what he's doing, show some more footage of these shows. I ended up rushing over to his table towards the end since I could finally take a little bit of break from mine. He had a value slab box, and there was a lot of very interesting slabs in there. If it wasn't so close to the end of the show, I probably would have spent more time really thinking about some of them. I ended up picking up these 7. Is there any huge names in here? I mean, there's Wander Franco in there. James Wood is a really popular prospect. In fact, that card has actually already been sold. But it's just a lot of solid, numbered rookie and prospect parallels that are numbered. A lot of refractors, a lot of shine in there. A Wander Gold, I get it, it's the rookie debut, but at that price, I mean, Wander's a great player. I just couldn't pass it up. So we were able to make a deal on these. Cut me a little bit of a break. I always appreciate doing business with Logan and seeing what he is up to. All right, here's another one. Jamar Chase. This is, again, right along the same lines as Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow is number 1, then Jamar Chase is number 2 for football in terms of my most asked about. These guys they're almost best friends. If they're not best friends, they were teammates at LSU, reunited in the jungle here in Cincinnati. And anytime I see a Jamar Chase that is numbered, I have to at least consider it, just because I really like him too. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's a fantastic receiver. Top 3 in football, in my opinion. This one here is from Chronicles. It's out of the Recon subset. I don't know what Recon is exclusive to. If I am not mistaken, they're not in hobby boxes, and if they are, they're exclusive to some kind of format. Chronicles is weird. There's a lot of different brands that are associated to just one, like Crown Royale is only for hybrid. It's difficult to keep track of. All I know is that it's a red, it's a rookie, it's numbered to 99. I was able to pay $35 for this one. It's really cool. In a sense, I've kind of become a pseudo Burrow Chase collector. Now, I wouldn't use the term collector as a very strict word there. That's a very loose definition because these cards have to be available for sale. I can't keep everything. There are some things that I'm definitely more hesitant to let go of, but I've really enjoyed picking up a lot of their cards. It takes me back to some of the joy I had when I was super collecting Miguel Cabrera, kind of reliving some of the good times with that. So it's always a benefit whenever you're buying cards, be able to kind of get that joy of being able to buy things and add them to rather your collection, but your inventory. And I get to enjoy them while I still have them. All right, here we go. Last deal of the show of cards that I still have. Amon-Ra St. Brown championship ticket auto and a Joe Burrow orange. This was with my buddy Justin, and I've made many deals with him before. Him and I kind of think alike on a lot of different things. So I saw this Burrow. He always takes amazing care of his cards. His table is very organized, very neat. He does it basically the way that I would do it. I ended up picking up this Burrow. It's in a Card Saver 1 because it is going to be sent off to PSA at some point in time. And then this Amon-Ra St. Brown, my favorite current player in the NFL. Such a fantastic ball player, gritty, hard-nosed receiver, and he is so reliable, so consistent. I think he was the number 2 receiver on Pro Football Focus's rankings last year, and expecting big things from him in year 3. I cannot wait. This one's number 25 of 25. You can actually see what this sold for raw. And Justin had this up for less than what this card, the same exact card, had sold for raw not all that long ago. I get it, it's a PSA 8, but if you look at the overall pop report for 2021 contenders, it is littered with PSA 8s. It is difficult to even get a 9, much less a 10. The 10s, I can't tell you I could probably count on one hand how many 10s I've actually seen out there going to all these shows. I mean, they're out there. There are 10s in existence, but man, it is super tough to find them. Amon-Ra St. Brown championship ticket, bookend 25 of 25. Sign me up all day. This is one that I marked up quite a bit. One that I just don't mind keeping because, again, he's my favorite current player. I try not to put too much of my own personal emotion into buying things, but if I have a passion for something, if I have something that I really like, it allows me to sell it better because it means that I believe in it. It means it's something that I get excited about, and I think that can be conveyed to a potential customer, mostly when it's a in-person interaction. Online, of course, a little bit different. Things get lost in translation over text. But for me, I love this card. All right, and then I have two deals here where I'm sorry for the Bush League pictures, but this is all I have because both these cards ended up selling later on in the show. So the first one up here, I might have had this card for 15 to 20 minutes. This one was brought up to my table, and I knew I had to have it when I saw it. It's a Justin Fields on campus from 2021 Prism Draft, college equivalent of the downtown. And this one tugs at the heartstrings a little bit because, of course, it's Ohio State's campus, my alma mater. You see the oval there. You see Brutus there in the background. I think the shoe is kind of off in the distance. I've been eyeballing this card for a while. I thought about buying one for myself when they first came out, but they were crazy expensive. They're still not cheap. I mean, this card, I ended up selling it for $90. I paid $70 plus. I think I gave up a $5 card with it. Having that and being able to turn it around for, an additional $15 is not too bad of a turnaround time. And I got to have the joy of owning it, even though it was very brief. It was only 15 minutes. I highly doubt this will be the last time I own one of these just because it's so cool. And a little bit reminiscent for me of days back on campus there in Columbus, Ohio. So that's why you see it kind of at the table there, is because I don't have it anymore to take a picture for you. And then this one, I also have this one for a very short period of time. In fact, so short that I didn't even take a picture of it when I picked it up. I decided to put it back out of my showcase, which I normally don't, but I figured it would be a hot card. I had to go find one on eBay and pull that picture down just to show off what it was. But it was a Garrett Wilson Purple Power Prism Auto number 249. I was able to buy it at $150 near the start of the show, and then I sold it later on for $180, probably about 2 to 3 hours later. Again, a couple hour hold time, $30 profit. I'll take that. It's nice because it's on those types of cards. I always get nervous selling them raw online just because you don't know if you're going to run into someone who is going to try to pull a return if it's not a PSA 10 in their eyes. Selling it in person where people can inspect it, make their own decision, is very beneficial to me and beneficial to them as well. I want everyone to be happy with their purchase, know exactly what they're getting. It works out well for both sides. The Garrett Wilson, again, he's another Buckeye, very popular around these parts for that reason, and also just because he was the offensive rookie of the year last year. Probably going to have an equally good, if not better, year in year two with a solidified quarterback. I'm not a huge Aaron Rodgers fan by any means, but I have to give him props for what he's done in his career. I think that Garrett Wilson will benefit massively from having him throwing him the ball rather than, say, Zach Wilson or Mike White. Again, $150, that's the cost of what? A third, a fourth of a Prism hobby box, and if you pulled this out of a box, you'd probably be pretty happy. It just, I don't know, wax prices today don't make a ton of sense to me on a lot of the products out there, but nothing's going to change with that anytime soon. That's a topic for a different day. That was it in terms of the purchases. I'll go over some of my sales really quickly here. I'll pull up the Notes app here on my computer just so I can remember a little bit. Try to throw in a couple of pictures. You saw the Fields and the Wilson were two of the sales. I ended up moving my Blue Wave Jamar Chase. I got this at the Hilliard show a couple months back. And any kind of Prism color for Jamar or Joe Burrow, I always will take a look at, especially if it's the right price. I don't always like to pay up for the PSA or SGC 10s, only because they say 10 on them. I will if it makes sense, but generally speaking, I like to stick to 9s because I feel that people oftentimes will undervalue their 9s. Sometimes I get the 9s for even less than raw prices, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I value a 9 over raw, 100%, no doubt in my mind. So to each their own, I suppose. I also sold this Otani card. This was one that I picked up for $25 in a kind of a bulk deal with some Ellie De La Cruz cards and an Aaron Judge rookie earlier in the week. So I was able to move up to 40 on that one. I already mentioned the Trey Lance Prism as well. I sold some other cheap basketball slabs, some Ellie De La Cruz kind of base stuff. Nothing too crazy in that regard, but again, kind of just finished on pace where I normally do for the show, but was able to make a lot of deals. Came away with a ton of cards, as you can kind of tell from the thumbnail of the video. Fantastic show, and it's shows like this that really make me excited for what I do. So that is it for the Xenia card show recap. I'm out, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe, be kind.